Welcome to the Cream City crossover. The Bucks win it tonight, 129-125 over the Brooklyn Nets. Whew, this one came down to the wire, JT. Feeling good, feeling great though. It's a Monday night. Monday Night Football's on right now as well. Chargers, Jets, Bucks got a W, which you absolutely have to love. I can't stress enough. There's some issues with the game. Obviously, we'll talk. We'll get into all of what happened with the Bucks and the Nets, and Cam Thomas going for 45 on 30-some shots. Dame Lillard with some issues, but Giannis I thought played very well. And the Bucks found a way to close the game. And again, when you look at these games and you're watching the Bucks play, you want to listen. I'd rather struggle through the wins than struggle through the losses. And this was one I thought the Bucks, against obviously very winnable game against the Brooklyn Nets. They come through, they get it done. Welcome again to the Cream City crossover. I'm the guru, Trey Crosby III.
I'm John Tyus. I don't have a nickname for myself yet,
JT,
even though y'all tried to
baby.
play that mess last time with talking about the lookalikes. But we'll
Yeah,
talk about it.
yeah, no, absolutely. And so but again, I felt good about tonight. I don't know, what, and I think again we have so many people that are just in the Twitterverse and everything. I try not to let that play into my mind when I'm evaluating and watching the game because people are just so upset watching the Bucks and watch them struggle. But again, you're not going to win every game by 30 points. You're not going to win every game by 20. Everybody else gets paid too. Cam Thomas has played some good basketball throughout really down the stretch last year and headed into this year. And he continued that tonight. But it was the Bucks who get the win 129-125 over the Brooklyn Nets. Let's jump into it. Let's talk about it. And let's roll in tonight with a little bit of the recap. Again, Giannis, absolutely electric. He powers the Bucks to a win tonight. Absolutely. You talk about dominant. You talk about people who have been talking about Giannis in a way that has not been, the best. They've been talking about Giannis with I don't know how he's played and how he's looked, and is he giving you what he should be, and is he holding back Damian Lillard and all this kind of mess, all this kind of junk. People have been talking about that. Well, tonight showed you why Giannis, remember, don't forget, two-time MVP, Finals MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, all the above, etc., etc. He did all of that and some. 36, 12, and 3. Chris Middleton chips in 15, 3, and 4. Damian Lillard goes for 21, 7, and 6. And again, pedestrian game by Damian Lillard standard, especially when you got Cam Thomas on the other side putting up 45 points. Jay Crowder plays 30 minutes tonight. And again, so we're going to talk about, me and John were talking before the game about Malik Beasley. And we talked about, about the starting line. We'll get to that in a second. But John, to your point, this is the first time I just mentioned it because it just jumps out to me. 14 minutes tonight from Malik Beasley, 30 minutes from Jay Crowder, 19 minutes from Pat Connaughton. So Marjon Beauchamp played 16 minutes, outplayed Malik Beasley in minutes tonight. That's something that you should note, and we should all note going forward. Malik Beasley is losing out on some minutes with 30 minutes, 15 and 5 for Jay Crowder, 11, 6, 2 assists, 2 steals for Bobby Portis, Pat Connaughton, 10 points, 3 assists. Cam Payne, excellent night for Cam Payne, 11 points, 3 assists, 4 for 6 from the field, 3 for 4 from 3. I thought he played a heck of a game. Marjon Beauchamp adds 3 points, 2 assists, but I thought he played some great defense. And again, Giannis, on a defensive effort, I thought it was absolutely excellent. Let's run down those stats and what you saw from the Bucks. Give me some of what you liked out for 129-125 victory.
Hey, they gonna put some respect on 34's name because I think tonight he looked like top 3 on that Kia MVP ladder. I don't believe that. I don't believe that's out yet, but y'all already know what time it is, man. He looked like an MVP contender tonight. Very, very, very dominant. And this was that performance. I think it was a couple shows ago when we talked about it. We were like, well, do we think Giannis is going to get the rebounding numbers, with what we're asking him to do on the win, which I didn't see Giannis matched up on Cam much tonight. And, much to the chagrin of me, Cam was cooking. Nonetheless, Giannis showed up in a big way, and I think we answered that question. He's still going to get them boards. It's coming. So, man, strong performance from Giannis tonight. Now, I know I ride for Malik Beasley, and I told y'all about how he was going to be a good signing and how he was going to be that fifth starter. And y'all last show, I think some folks jumped in the comments and talked about, is it time that we start giving his minutes away? And y'all know, pride and ego are invaluable to the beholder. But I'm going to walk back my words a little bit and say, Jay Crowder, man, put some respect on his name. That man, Jay Crowder. I think Jay Crowder. I'm looking at Beasley. I'm looking at Crowder, and I'm kind of wondering, man, is it time? Do we need to start considering Crowder? What's it look like with Crowder in that starting lineup?
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I mean, that's a fair question.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's 100% a fair question. You know, when you look at what the Bucks did and you look at the game tonight, and Jay Crowder, he's hitting shots. I mean, again, guys always look better when they're hitting shots. And Jay Crowder came out, I think he started off 3 for 3. I think from 3, he finished just 4 for 9 from beyond the arc tonight. So a good job from him. Again, Cam Thomas 3 for 4. Bobby Portis finally hits his first 3-pointer of the year, going 1 for 2. And here's the thing, Giannis was 1 for 7. The one he hit was huge. He took a couple ill-advised threes, but he did get the one that was big. Speaking again on the other side, you saw Cam Thomas putting up 45 points. And Malik Beasley was responsible for some of that. Pat Connaughton got some of those buckets. Jay Crowder took on some of those buckets. Damian Lillard took on some of those buckets. So Cam Thomas was an equal opportunity hater tonight because he was giving everybody buckets. He was the can man. Everybody can get it. And so he did a lot of that. I tip my hat to Cam Thomas 100%. I just tip my hat to him for some of the shots he made. 6 for, and again, not just the shooting. Do you know how good you have to be in an NBA game? Do you know how good you have to be to get your shot off? To shoot 33 times in an NBA game? You got to be good to even get your shot off. Like that's elite level chuck and pulling right there.
Those are Allen Iverson numbers.
Right? Yeah.
Those are Allen Iverson numbers when it comes to shooting. I mean, that man shot 33 shots tonight. How many threes did Cam Thomas? Cam Thomas shot 16 threes?
16 threes. 16 3. I mean, listen, and wow. He was cooking. So, listen, go ahead.
16 threes, right? Cam Thomas took 16 threes. You realize Brook Lopez only took 6 shots. Malik Beasley only took 5 shots. Marjan only took 2 shots. And that man took more shots than all 3 combined from 3. Wow.
Yeah, he was shooting the ball.
Cam Thomas.
He's 100% shooting the ball. If you're just joining to Creeps Crossover, 129-125 victory. The Milwaukee Bucks defeat the Brooklyn Nets. Again, comment section, we're still working on it. Again, I'm thinking when we get our producer back next week, I have to make this comment before every show. We should be able to hopefully fix the comment section. I don't know. It might be an Elon Musk thing, honestly. I don't know if he's trying to charge. I don't know what the deal is. But you can send your comments in at TCIIIESQ, or you can get on the YouTube, Cream City Crossover, live right now. Aberdrame Diamante in the chat says, we got to talk about the transition defense. So that's a good segue because what we're scheduled to talk about here is a 2-3 defense. But I will mention the transition defense for a second because he makes a good point that throughout the game, and I had to look at some of the advanced stats to see what it looked like, what the transition buckets look like for the Bucks, how many fast break points they actually gave up tonight. But you agreed. And transition defense, I know a lot of people talk about Adrian Griffin. We keep going on Adrian Griffin. But transition defense is effort and hustle. Transition defense is, can you get your butt back after a made basket or after a missed basket? Can you get your butt back on defense, right? Can you get back and stop the ball? That's all transition defense is, really. And for a lot of the game, the Bucks, for whatever reason, they choose not to do it. Now, I will say that at the end of the game, the Bucks absolutely played transition defense. You saw Giannis get back. There was a fast break. I'm trying to remember exactly what happened. I believe it was off of a steal. And again, the game's in the balance at that point off of a steal. And it was Giannis and Chris Middleton both got back. I can't remember who had the ball, but they both get back and they stopped a layup. Giannis with high hands. I think it was a 2-point game, whatever. High hands. Alters the shot and you get the ball back. So yes, defense was rough throughout the game, but when the Bucks needed it and when it mattered, again, this is a veteran-led team. You're gonna have some lapses, some moments where we ain't running back out there every play. We're not 24 and 25 spry legs and sprinting back every play in the second quarter. But in the fourth quarter, when the game's on the line, you go back, you make the hustle. I was happy to see some of that.
I agree. I 100% agree with it. And again, going back to my argument about Jay Crowder seeing minutes, right? I thought Jay Crowder had a huge play in that overtime period when Cam Thomas was taking that 3 from the corner, and Jay Crowder, he didn't. I don't think he blocked it, but he altered that shot. Right. He definitely got a hand in the man's face, and that shot didn't fall. And them shots were falling all night for Cam Thomas. So huge point there. But if we're gonna talk about defense, Trey, why don't we just go ahead and talk about defense? Right. Let's talk about that key move that Adrian Griffin made at the beginning of the fourth quarter when you called that thing out and had that point. And I think that shift, I don't want to spoil it because I want you to go ahead and talk about it, but I think that's not something that we've seen as Bucks fans, that type of defensive adjustment in the last 5 years at least under Bud.
Yeah, you talk about adjustments throughout the game. Adrian Griffin shows you that that is one thing that if you talk about, and I've had people commenting, have there been more negative things that have gone out through the Bucks than positive things? I disagree with that. But if you're looking for, just something super positive, especially when we talk about Adrian Griffin, because people get mad at the rotations, mad at this, mad at that. The fact that he's willing, again, he gets you to the drop. He's playing trapping defense. Tonight, listen, I venture to say, I would love to see the stats on this. I would venture to say the Bucks had to play 40% of that basketball game in a 2-3 zone. And Cam Thomas was cooking. And again, some of that is, I got to give you different looks. I got to show you some different things. And again, we may not stop you all, but there were moments within that game where the Bucks were able to stop Cam Thomas. Some of that was in the 2-3 zone. Some of that was just based on the looks that they gave. But there were enough moments where you were able to stop him. Late in the game, the Bucks were able to get the stops, and Jay Crowder had the majority of the assignment. By the way, the one thing, if you want me to criticize Adrian Griffin, Bobby Porter should not have been in that game late in the basketball game. The guys were absolutely, from Mikal Bridges as well as Cam Thomas, they were targeting him. Can we get the switch on him? And then look at the other side. I'm kind of going all over the place and rambling, but my goodness, Ben Simmons stinks. He is so. Oh my God. I'm sorry. I'm going away from my 2-3 stuff. Man, it just came to my mind. Oh my God, he was so bad. Giannis bullied that man if he's lucky that wasn't a national televised game. He absolutely punked Ben Simmons up and down the court. Ben Simmons is gonna have. I know he probably has a therapist. He gonna have to see him tonight. You got to call that man up tonight. He gonna have to go 24/7 after hours tonight because you got absolutely punked, disrespected. He's scared to shoot the ball. He looks like an absolute bum out there. But again, going to the defense, I'll get back onto it. I thought, again, it was a great adjustment from Adrian Griffin. It worked at times. Sometimes it didn't. But again, I appreciated the fact that they went to it. And again, the Bucks really had a stretch in the third quarter where they should have ran away with the basketball game. I believe they went up. It was a tie game, and I believe they went up like 9 or 10 points. And then Giannis goes out for 2 minutes in the fourth or whatever it was, and maybe it was in the fourth quarter. And then and the Brooklyn Nets came right back and tied the game, got back into it. So they weren't able to sustain the lead. That was with Dame on the floor. But yeah, again, the 2-3 defense I thought was good. I thought the adjustments were well made. I thought they were intentional, and I thought they slowed down the Nets because there were some times when they looked a little flustered and discombobulated on the floor.
No, I 100% agree with you, and I absolutely love that. I love that adjustment because Adrian Griffin is not scared to do it. He's not scared to change something if something's not working. He's not scared. He's not scared to switch this thing up and see, like you said, if he can slow down or change it. Get the momentum back on the Bucks side. This is something that I think we've been clamoring for. This is the biggest knock that we had against Bud. And I don't want to keep reopening past issues here, right, with Bud. But I will say, because early on in the season, that we haven't seen this type of adjustment before. So kudos to Adrian Griffin, and kudos to Adrian Griffin for not having the coach's ego who says, no, my system works, it's going to work, I'm going to keep doing this, I've got the better players, I'm going to keep doing this. No, you see that creativity there, just like you saw last game when he put Brooke back in the drop. So I love it. And again, Adrian Griffin's still very, very early in his coaching career, but I think this is an encouraging sign to see someone who is willing to adjust and willing to make changes that I think can lead to substantive results.
Andrew Ware chiming in at W07197 You're not a bot, are you? Says too many folks panicking about the team right now. It's 6 games. It's November, not April. Give them time to figure out how to play with each other and with a new head coach. It's not going to be easy, but stop overreacting less than 10% into the season. It's a great point, Andrew. 100%. I believe it. And again, you're 6 games in. You're 4-2. You're not 2-4. You're not 1-5.
You're not 0-6.
You're 4-2. So all this, if you're telling me you're gonna struggle and you're gonna double up your wins, I'll take it 100% of the time. You tell me that if that's a struggle, I'll take it through the first 6 games. I'll 100% take it.
Oh, and look, the ugly wins count just as much as the pretty wins. And that's the thing about it. The biggest thing now is find a way to win, figure it out till we hit our groove. I do not think this Bucks team has hit its groove yet. By no means. Has it been clunky? Yes, right? Are they dancing with 2 left shoes? You better believe it. But at the end of the day, they're finding ways to win these games. And I agree. Look, it's 4-2. It's not April. There's probably going to be – I'm not sure this is the roster that you go into the playoffs with. Again, shout out to Chris Middleton, who broke 20 minutes tonight again. Chris Middleton broke 20 minutes tonight again, so that's another encouraging sign too. So yeah, hey, man, my stuff's across the room. But yeah, I mean, I appreciate that. Yes, sir. Yeah, but I agree with, and I think we have to keep that in mind, right? That this roster. Speaking though, and I don't want to dive too deep into this though, but
what's up? So your mind.
Do we? I'm just going to say it, man. Yeah, season high tonight, Pat Connaughton. I'll put a little bit of respect on his name for this performance. But yo, are we reaching the end of the road with Pat? Because right now he's looking a whole lot more like Project Pat than Big Shot Pat. Those of y'all who are a little younger, y'all don't know who Project Pat is, but you know he's part of 3-6. You can do your Googles and figure that out. But yo, like honestly, I mean the stat line tonight, like 4 for 7, 2 for 5, it looked better than the stats look better than it was. Because in that first half, I said, man, I don't know what this is, but this is shaky. And it's been that way with Pat. He has not looked good, period, this year.
It's the same thing, JT, that we talk about. You can shoot, you can hit a couple threes, you can hit a couple buckets. But if you give up 45 on the other side, I know he didn't give all of them up to Cam Thomas, but if you can't stay in front of guys, if at the point of attack guys are blowing by you, you can't play. So a couple threes don't negate that fact. I think that Adrian Griffin, again, he's a veteran, and so I think that's why Pat was in the game even late, which I don't think he should have been. But I think maybe that's why you're still afraid to trust MarJon. But yeah, man, we're coming to a head. He makes about $9 million. He's looking like a nice trade chip again. But I will say that it has happened before where last year Pat did not play well throughout the year, and then he shot the ball incredibly well during the playoffs. You know, it's a short playoff for him. But he's had that a few times now where he shoots the ball a little bit better in the playoffs, and he does that. Again, there's something to say for experience where some guys, when the lights turn on, the lights are bright, that's when they shine a little bit. Maybe that's Pat. I don't know. I know guys that, again, I played football, guys that practice terrible, and their lights came on, different person. And maybe that's some of it, but Pat does. Again, I agree with you. He doesn't look good.
And listen, I never thought we'd get to the point to where I'm more confident in Brook Lopez shooting threes this year than Pat Connaughton, right? Yeah. And that sounds silly, right? But I'm much more confident when Brook Lopez pulls up a 3 this year than Pat Connaughton, and it really shouldn't be that way. And my thing about Pat is what he played tonight. He played 19 minutes tonight, right? So looking at this in totality, Pat played 19 minutes tonight. Do we give some of those minutes to MarJon? Right? Does MarJon start getting some of those minutes, right? Do you split those minutes between MarJon and Beasley? I won't necessarily say Crowder tonight because he played 30, but do you start finding a way to disseminate those minutes? Right? You know, I mean, and granted, Chris may play a little bit more too, so that may chop down on those minutes too. But like, I just don't feel like there's a net benefit to having Pat on the floor, especially if them threes aren't falling, because he's not going to give you much defensively.
Yeah, you get to, so that's the thing. You get to Chris, who's going to continue ramping up, ramp up. Chris is going to keep ramping up 20 minutes to hopefully 30 minutes at some point in time. So you take 10 minutes away there. You hope MarJon continues to get minutes. You're seeing Jay Crowder playing very well, get minutes. And again, if Cam Payne is going to play like this, you talking about a guard, I mean, he can let guys blow by him just so he can get in the game. I think we did see some Cam Payne, Dame Lillard lineups of 2 guards together. Let's get to some comments at True Bucks Fan 78. Martinez Coleman Jr. says, I hear you. Yes, Giannis played well down the stretch and got us the win, but he really makes it harder than it needs to be. If he gives it up quicker, he'll get back. I think he's saying he'll get it back in a better position. Your thoughts? Yes and no on the Giannis stuff. Listen, Giannis is the best. Shout out to Dame. Giannis is the best player on the floor. He has been. Damian Lillard has had more clutch moments throughout the season, but Giannis has been the best player. He is the best player for the Bucks. And right now, until that just changes to where Damian Lillard is very comfortable in his offense, I don't know what the issue is. We got to talk about Dame a little bit. But until that changes, it's Giannis, and it's still Giannis' team. Giannis had one drive late in the fourth where he just went down the lane, spin cycle, dunked it through. I mean, that was a huge bucket late in that basketball game. He had a huge three late in the game. I know people get upset at the Giannis threes and go to the YouTube comments at Chris Volrath says, why Greek Freak taking threes? And I think he was like 1 for 7 or something tonight. But again, he was 3 for 3. He was 3 for 3 the other night. But here's the thing: would you rather have this? Would you rather have that old scary man in Brooklyn, Ben Simmons, that's scared of his own shadow and has zero confidence and can't do nothing for himself and looks like a deer caught in headlights at every moment, stoop kid afraid to leave his stoop and won't shoot the ball? Or would you rather have a guy that has the confidence late in the game? Because that was a huge three that he hit late in the game. And again, the crazy is, in the first quarter, this is crazy. In the first quarter, he took the back-to-back threes and missed it. He shot the three, missed it, they got the rebound, passed back to him, shot three, missed it again. Everyone's like, what the hell are you doing? Then he comes back in the fourth quarter, shoots the three, misses it, they get a rebound, back to him, clutch three. Listen, I'll just say this. I'll just say this. Giannis is so good, and this is what comes with being superstars. You've got to take some of the bad with the good. And you got to know that he's that good. He's going to make up for the play with the defensive possession. He's going to make up the play with a huge rebound. He's going to make up the play with a huge dunk or put back in some way. And then, oh yeah, by the way, he's going to give you that occasional three. That it took him 7 shots to get there, but he hit a big one late in the game. And again, you just got to. He's your star. You got to live with some of those. You got to live with some of the heat checks. You got to live with them. Sorry.
All right. So listen. I'm on the other side of this. I feel like he's such a good scorer. He's such an elite scorer that, hey, you can go ahead and get a little closer to that basket and make that high percentage bucket. We don't need you to start being a part of the three-point party and just raining all these three-pointers, these shots from three. Having said that, y'all know Giannis is shooting 40% from three this year. Bet y'all didn't know that. Bet y'all didn't know that. Right.
Yeah, I don't know if he's after tonight, but
I don't know what. Yeah, probably not. Right. But going into this game, Giannis was shooting 40% from three. So listen, I get that. I understand that. Now I think he was probably attempting 2 a game. Personally, I'll never get used to Giannis pulling. I don't ever want to see Giannis shoot 7 threes in the game. I don't. I get it. I get the scary man, Ben Simmons, scared of his own shadow, which Ben, to be honest, Ben ain't been right since that playoff series when all of it went down in Philly. And tonight, I think he was legitimately scared. And Ben Simmons' minutes, Ben Simmons' life as an NBA starter, I think he needs to allow that. Right? I just don't think he's not warranting his presence on the court at this point. He's really not. Having said that, though, let me get back to Giannis. I mean, Ben Simmons.
No, I agree with you 100%. And especially not the contract that he has. But it's like, dog, there are some moments where if he just wasn't afraid to go, okay, forget shoot. If he just wasn't afraid to go to the basket later, he had one. I heard the Nets fans audibly groan. He was sprinting through to the basket, probably gets it. And again, he's 6'11". He's sprinting to the basket. I mean, it's just any resistance at all. And he's looking to pass that thing out. I mean, people were, you're 6'11" coming full speed to the basket. Lay it up. It is crazy. I thought he makes good pass. If he could just add that to the game, where I really don't get it. I don't know if he has a sports therapist or what. I don't get some of the stuff. I don't get it.
You know what that problem might be?
What is it?
Kendall Jenner. Things ended with Kendall Jenner, and he ain't been right since.
Oh, he ain't been right since. I was gonna say he ain't still with.
He ain't been right since.
Is it the Jenner curse? Kardashian curse?
I don't know. I don't know about her.
Hey,
her
Devin Booker's still cooking.
Booker was all right.
He's still cooking. He came out of it.
True. But but having said that though, look, Giannis shooting 7 threes. I don't ever want to see that, right? And because you can't tell me that on all 7 of those possessions, he didn't have a better opportunity to score something closer. He didn't have a better opportunity to drive to the basket and get points up. He just didn't. I don't. And I think we have enough 3-point shooters on this team where he does not need to do that. Just doesn't. You don't got to do that. That's your role.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't. But again, I get what you're saying. Again, I think you got to live with some of them. It is what it is. Diamante chimes back in and says Giannis buried him the whole game with no mercy. And then Chris Vara says I'd rather see Middleton off the bench. That's kind of sounding like my guy Tatonia World who does that kind of talk about Chris Middleton. I missed some comments on Twitter at Maddie15102 says where's the D? Hey yo. He says. Sorry. He says, where's the defense? And again, you give up 125. We can talk about that for a second. You give up 125 points to the Nets. You're giving up a lot of points. You give up 30. And I talked to you about this on air before the show, John, where it's like, I want to see the Bucks have, like, so Cam Thomas puts up 45 and Mikal Bridges puts up 31. And then on the Bucks side, you have Giannis with 36 and Damian Lillard with 21. The Bucks should be having those, like that's what they should look like. They should be the ones putting up 40 and 30. The offensive firepower should be coming through those guys. Now, what ended up happening, he had some scoring from the bench that obviously helped things out. Again, 4 guys in double figures, 1, 2, 3, 4 guys in double figures from the bench. Jay Crowder, Bobby Portis, Pat Connaughton, and Cam Payne, which kind of evened out some of the scoring there, helped you out. Also, 15 points from Chris Middleton, but I want to see our guys shoot like that. And again, until this defensive thing works itself out, and again, there may be a trade on the horizon for another defender. You never know. We have to figure that out. But until that works itself out, you're going to have to outscore people. And that means Damian Lillard and Giannis have got to score. Again, 36, great output. I need both of those guys to be around 30 points every night. Like that has to happen right now. If the defense is going to be a work in progress until you get later. And again, I'm okay. I can punt the defense until December and January and February and March for us to figure that thing out a little bit more till around the All-Star break. But you're gonna have to outscore people. And again, they did it tonight. So again, kudos to the Bucks. You gave up 45 points and 31 points to 2 guys over there on the other side, and you found a way to get the win. I'll take that. So again, same issue with talking about the Phoenix Suns and some of the teams that have a lot of offensive firepower and the defense is backed off. You're going to have to score points. And so that's what the Bucks have to do right now.
Well, I agree. I 100% agree with you. And yes, you do want to see your basically what you're saying, if you're saying that both need to be 30 a night, you need to see your superstars looking like superstars, right? And I think we keep saying this. And Dame, right there, he has superstar moments, but overall, night in, night out, he's not really looking like a superstar. I think Giannis has been probably a lot more impactful overall this season than Dame has, even though, Dame's had some very, very, very strong closing performances, over this first 6 games. Having said that, the Bucks are 25th in defensive rating, right? So that defense it stinks, absolutely stinks. I think they're around 117. The defensive rating's obviously not everything, but it just goes to show that yes, what we see is what we're getting here, right? This Bucks defense is not great right now, but I do agree. I think you do have some additional moves to make. I also think that again, Griffin's still tinkering with this lineup, right? He's still playing with this lineup a little bit, kind of figuring out, what scheme, what sets we're going to run, and there's still more adjustments to be made. So, yeah, I agree. I'm not really concerned about it till January. Having said that, I'm more concerned. I do want to see Giannis and Dame kind of clicking by then and being a little bit more consistent with their contributions.
Consistency, yeah, I think that's right. I think that's what you want to look for, the consistency, because we haven't seen it yet between the both of them. I thought, again, this is the best Giannis game, I think, of the year so far, and so I appreciate that. At Alec, the Bucks fan, says, lineups killed us tonight. Brooklyn had no centers. Why was Brooke Bobby closing and not Giannis the 5 Marjan? And again, I agree with that. I'm not gonna say lineups killed us tonight, but I will agree. Bobby had no business in that game late in the game when they were targeting him 100%. I agree with that. Marjan should have been in. Only thing I think is that maybe Adrian Griffin just doesn't trust him just yet. Maybe doesn't trust him being a young player, but maybe you got to come up off that. What's up?
But I do got to ask this question though.
Go ahead.
Adrian Griffin not trusting Marjan. Adrian Griffin showed a lot of trust in Bobby having him in the game late, though.
Yeah, he's a veteran. He's a veteran.
Right, but that's trust that we probably would have never seen before either.
Well, right, and I thought Bobby has played better. And here's the thing. Bobby has played much better defense throughout the year, and even tonight I thought he played good defense. But you're in an impossible situation when down the stretch, Brooklyn, again, think about it. First off, Brooklyn's playing 4-on-5, which the bigger issue I had with Adrian Griffin tonight was Giannis on, and because you maybe could have thought about it, and again, I think that's a tougher matchup, Giannis on Cam Thomas, just a little bit too small and shifty for Giannis. But maybe if he had been on Mikal Bridges, I thought that would have been better. You could have put, if you wanted to have Bobby in, maybe you have him on the guy who didn't want to shoot the ball at all in Ben Simmons. I thought, maybe Giannis was being wasted a little bit on Ben Simmons because Ben Simmons had zero desire to score the ball. He didn't want the ball. It was like hot potato to him. He just didn't want it. And so I thought Giannis had to play more of a little bit rover. And that's why you talked about the rebounds he had tonight. Some of the reason, because he didn't have to worry about his matchup was Ben Simmons tonight. he didn't have to worry about really guarding and defending Ben Simmons because Ben Simmons didn't want to score. He didn't want anything to do with anything. And so I think maybe that's, again, look at the rebounds. We talked about that the other night show, where, why have you seen Giannis take a dip in rebounds? Well, he's playing more on the perimeter, playing some of those guys. Well, he didn't have to do that tonight. But yeah, I thought Bobby probably shouldn't have closed. But again, that's the thing. When Bobby's in and Brooklyn doesn't have any centers, and again, you have basically Ben Simmons as one of your bigs, and guys are coming up. Yeah, they're just trying to get switches onto Bobby Portis so they can play one-on-one. Mikal Bridges, Cam Thomas. What Mark Jackson say? May I have this dance? They're doing that with Bobby in. I think late he did something out after, but it was a little bit too late. And that was an adjustment Adrian Griffin should have made a little bit earlier.
I agree with that. Yeah, no, but again, right? This doesn't take away Bobby's the noticeable improvements we've seen with Bobby defensively this year, right? Like I want to be clear here. I think Bobby's looked a lot better on defense this year than he has before. But yeah, you raise a really interesting point there. You realize Ben Simmons only shot he only shot the ball 3 times a night, had 15 rebounds as well. So he was
active. He was active.
Those are Dennis Rodman numbers, sir.
Right.
I don't know if that's great from your point guard, but okay.
Yeah, he was active tonight. And he does a lot of things. Again, but here's the issue, and I don't know how I don't watch a ton of Brooklyn games. So I don't know how his matchups have been going. But again, his matchup was Giannis. He got cooked for 36 and 12 or whatever it was tonight by Giannis. And then he grabbed 15 rebounds, cool. But you make no impact on the offensive game. May have had a few assists. Make no impact on the offensive game. You're just there to grab rebounds, and you're getting cooked by a former MVP. I mean, it didn't look good. It didn't look good at all. Let's keep rolling here. The next thing on our topic on our list is Dame time. Dame finishes with 21, 7, and 6, 34 minutes tonight. John, again, pedestrian numbers when you look at what we know Damian Lillard to be. And then on the other side, when you have a guy, I mean, let's just look at this. Dame puts up 21 and 34 minutes. Chris Mills had 15 and 21 minutes. So 13, 14 minutes less of work. And Chris Middleton basically matches, that output and that production. Chris was 60% from the field tonight. Took 60% from the field, 6 to 10 shots. And then you're looking at the other side at Cam Thomas and Mikal Bridges, absolutely going berserk, 45 and 31. Again, Dame has had clutch moments, but he has not really had full-on sustained games where he's been that guy. And we've ridden Damian Lillard to wins late, and throughout late in the fourth quarter make those pushes. It still doesn't seem like we've seen a full put-together game from Damian Lillard. And I will say, I think tonight we saw that from Giannis. This was a put-together game. Giannis dominated. He had 12 points in the first quarter. He had a big run in the third. He closed things out in the fourth on offense and defense. It was a great night from Giannis. Giannis 100% game ball, everything, player of the game, all of that. We still haven't seen that from Damian Lillard. Is it rust? Is he just still not there? You need more time to adjust? Is he uncomfortable? What do we need to see? And again, it's early, 6 games. I'm not complaining about it all. I think we'll be fine in the long run. But what is it? Why is through 6 games, why is Dame, in your opinion, not comfortable and not scoring at the rate throughout a full game that you'd like to see him at?
I think some of it is, and again, right, we don't want to be, we're not in the excuse making business, but some of the stuff I will say is, again, I feel like I say it every show, acquired late, didn't really practice with the guys, didn't have a lot of time practicing with these guys. I don't think has established a level of comfort in this thing. I mean, Dame, from a field goal perspective, he's taken less shots than he did in Portland, which is, I think around Portland, he was taking somewhere between like 19 and 20, I think, every year since 2016. And tonight, right, had 15. The other night had like 11 or 12. It's a little interesting about that because the interesting thing about that is that, Chris is still on limited minutes. So you like, man, get your buckets, right? Like, he doesn't really, there's not an explanation there as for why he's doing this. Having said that, though, I jokingly said this the other night. I was kind of right. Like, does it take, when Dame has a strong performance, does it take him a couple games to respawn? Right? Does he have to reboot? reload. I don't really know what the deal is. I've seen some people on Twitter say, well, maybe he's not in shape, right? Maybe he's not. And again, I'm not saying anybody's right or wrong here, but I do think you see this apprehensiveness in Dame, and you don't see that MVP caliber type guy. And maybe it's because he's playing with Giannis. He doesn't want to step on toes. Maybe he's still trying to learn this thing or not. But again, I'm not going to be overly concerned about this until we're still seeing this from him in January or February.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna be concerned about it. Again, I just think it's a little combination of both. Again, to your point, not an excuse making business. He's got to play better. Diamante chiming in again says, as you say in your tweets, Damon's yet to outplay another guard, and we've seen it a lot. Tyrese Maxey earlier in the year, Brunson, Tyler Hero, and Cam Thomas. I'm just thinking off the top of my head. Trae Young, maybe I played him, I think, in that game as well. So, again, he has been, again, not necessarily his matchup where he's like the primary defender all the time, but I'm just talking about, I'm not even worried about that. I'm just saying from a scoring output, just think about the games the Bucks have had. If Damian Lillard was just outscoring those guys, forget defense. Just outscore. You ain't got to play him. It ain't got to be your fault. Just outscore that other guy. Go out there, you put up 40. You put up 30. If Tyrese Maxey put up 35, you put up 35. Cam Thomas get 40, you put up 40. That's what I need to see from Damian Lillard from just a straight-up offensive output and perspective. But, again, you look and it's, like you said, 15. You said Dame took 15 shots?
Yeah, he took 5 for 15
from the field. Shots. Giannis made 15 field goals. So Dame attempted 15 shots. Giannis made 15. He took 27.
Wow.
So he doubled up Dame. And again, everybody, like you said, Dame has not shot the ball like he shot in Portland. Everybody's got to sacrifice just a little bit. It is what it is. But again, tonight it was Giannis' night. Again, I like him. I'd rather watch wins than losses. And you'll take them as they go. 100%. Okay. Go ahead. You had something?
No, you good.
Okay. Let's take a look around the NBA tonight. Again, the Bucks win at 129-125 over the Nets. The Denver Nuggets are up 104-95 over the Pels. The 76ers get a big win, 146-128 over the Wizards. The Mavericks, Jason Kidd's Mavs, 117-102 over the Magic. The Pacers, after getting 150-something put up against them the other night, they then come back and put up 152 and beat the San Antonio Spurs 152-111. By the way, JT, I keep hearing all this because I was making my tweet about the Suns, and people, oh my God, you see, well, the Suns lost because Victor Wembanyama's a demigod. Okay, well, the Pacers put up 152 on the demigod. Like, y'all got to stop crowning people. And I think Victor Wembanyama's going to be great. 100%. Stop crowning people as soon as they come into the league. Y'all are doing, and you will tell you what they're doing this with Jay. They're doing it with CJ Stroud. He's Mahomes. Relax. I don't know what he's going to be. Just let it play out. There's nothing. We live in this culture now where everybody's right. The last thing they saw is yes, Wemby's been great. Wemby's probably going to win Rookie of the Year. But he's in that context. He shouldn't be going down the stretch and beating down KD 2 consecutive games being the best player down the stretch. That's not indicative of what he is right now. 5 years from now, maybe that's what he is. Maybe he is that. But right now, no, he's not. And when he does, we talk about it, and we don't get to give KD the excuse. When I'm looking at what Tyrese Halliburton do tonight. I don't even know. I'm a check. Up 23 and 8 assists. I had to check. They got 19 from Buddy Hield. They went crazy on the San Antonio Spurs tonight. Wemby put up 13 points tonight. So you're telling me those guys, the Suns, can't make stops on Wemby, and the Indiana Pacers can? I'm sorry, but come on, man. And again, I love Wemby. This is not a shot at Wemby at all. But come on, man. He's not there yet. He's gonna have some nice nights. He's gonna have some rough nights. He's not there yet.
People just get excited, man. People get excited. You know, the wildest thing to me about this is with sports, though, is that with all these magnificent performances, people act like they just can't. They act like they've never been there before. Like they've never been. They just get excited and they want to make these conclusory statements about athletes, and it's almost like it's a comfort thing, right? When you say, "Well, Victor's the next best thing ever," right? It's like Does it heal their does it calm their own anxieties here about this guy supposed to be great? If we just crown him early, just crown him now. CJ Stroud, oh my gosh, he's the best thing we've ever seen. I don't know. I mean, I think Victor's going to be very, very good right now. I would stay at the casino, right? Because you don't want washed up pop singers trying to touch you. But well, right? Or maybe you do, right? Maybe Big Vic does, right? I don't know, right? But at the end of the day, hey. And there's where the show goes off the rails. Okay. We're not gonna call him Big Vic. Isn't he like 7'6" or 7'5"?
He's I just never heard. Yeah,
so like
I didn't know they called him that.
We're not calling him Big Vic.
I didn't know. If you are, you are. I didn't know.
No, I ain't gonna call that man Big Vic. No, sir. No, we're not gonna do that.
Okay.
God, we already got to pause this thing.
Ask a question. I was asking a question. That's all.
We already got to pause this thing, man.
You good? But yeah, I don't know. That just initial thoughts there. The Heat beat the Lakers 108-107. Knicks are winners over the Clippers 111-97. The Boston Celtics, greatest team in the world. They can't lose. They're so much better than the Bucks. Oh my God. They lose to Timberwolves tonight, 114-109. And right now, it looks like the Chargers are going to get a win over the New York Jets.
And by the way, that former player on the Boston Celtics that I'm not going to mention, boy, he had a tour date night tonight. 4 for 16, your boy.
Oh, what happened? Who was 4 for 16? I know what Drew Holiday. I know Drew Holiday played 41 minutes. And go 4 for 16 from the field.
42 minutes, went 4 for 16 from the field. Went ahead and had him 11 points.
Okay.
He went ahead and had 11 rebounds. He had 12 points and 11 rebounds.
I didn't know it was April 16th.
Yeah,
I didn't know it was April. Man put up the April 16th on him. And then his buddy, the new guy, come on and give him May the 14th. Okay, Kristaps. Okay, I see y'all over there in Boston. Lot of minutes over there for that L. So again, and then finally did want to mention and wrap up with Craig Counsell, former manager of the Brewers, takes a job out in Chicago. It's interesting in Milwaukee news. Quick thoughts on that, and then we'll wrap this thing up. What do you think about when you heard that news? I've seen a lot of conflicting things on Twitter. A lot of people upset at Craig Counsell, think he's a traitor. A lot of people upset at the Brewers ownership. Give me your initial reactions.
Listen, technically, this is kind of like Brett Favre going to the Vikings, right? And folks is like you watching a guy go into the division, and you see, now granted, Brett Favre was semi-washed, even though he had one good year with the Vikings. But at the end of the day, Craig had to get his money. Okay, oh well, bye, Craig. We'll see you later, right? I know Brewers fans are in their feelings right now, and I don't really understand why, right? The Brewers had an opportunity to pay that man. Y'all could have cut the check. Y'all didn't want to cut the check. Y'all wanted Craig to take a discount. Listen, none of y'all taking a discount for your daggone employer. You stop playing now.
Did you see that comment? Did you see the comment Antianazo, the owner, made where he said that they lost Counsell, but Counsell also lost the Brewers? Like we lost Counsell, but he lost the community.
These people, man.
What?
Craig does not care about y'all. He spent 9 years here, and you know what he did in his 9 years? He increased his value on the open market. And you know what? I'm not mad at Craig. Y'all need to get over it. What y'all need to do is try to figure out who the Brewers are going to hire next to be the skipper right now, because Craig is enjoying his $8 million a year in Chicago. And you know what, Craig? I can't knock your hustle, man.
I'm not mad at him.
We'll see you. Man, swing through cops, pay for your own food because nobody going to buy you nothing, and keep it pushing. If you come you ain't buying that man nothing. Hell no. These people bitter.
They are bitter. He has the money, though. Justin from NC, good to see you out there. He says, a good win. Both of them are leading on the fly. I think the greatest days together are ahead of them. I think he's talking about Drew and Giannis. Trey starting all those fights on Twitter.
Dame and Giannis, sir.
What did I say?
You said Drew and Giannis.
Oh, sorry. Man, I'm sorry.
You're not in mid-season form yet?
Yeah, I'm not mid-season form either. Justin from NC, he also said, Trey starting all those fights on Twitter makes me feel better about losing Counsell. Drew also gave up 38 points. And then give a little stat correction. Craig Counsell spent 53 years in Milwaukee, grew up a lifelong Brewers fan, different than any other manager we had. So, yeah, he is a Milwaukee native, JT.
So he can pay for his own food when he comes back to Cops. He'll be back. We ain't nobody buying him a drink. Nah, hell no.
Right? So Justin, are you gonna buy him a drink? Are you bitter, Justin? I just want to know if people are bitter. I've seen it both ways. And then
you gonna talk about it on T's and Q's? T's and Q's
Yeah,
this weekend? We have a show
we'll
this
talk
weekend?
about this Saturday
Well,
on
we'll talk about it. Let's
T's and
hash
Q's.
it out.
100%.
Can't wait for you to call in.
100%. Call in. Let us know what you think when we get back on 97.3 on Saturday. And then I'll read the last tweet of the night at Light Seraph. Marvin Lee says, trade Pat ASAP. Marjan needs more minutes and has to start already. We unlocked a good non-Dame lineup today. Giannis, Payne, Marjan, J. Bobby. That is correct, Marvin. We did. That was a great non-Dame lineup. 100%. Dame and Bees together with Chris makes our point of attack defense non-existent. I don't disagree with that at all. Good comment there, Marvin. I don't disagree. Point of attack defense was bad, like I said, especially with Pat. And he had Beasley in there. It's just been rough. I thought, and again, we've praised Beasley a little bit, JT, and his minutes are going down, and we'll see what it ends up. We'll see what it ends up as. Justin does chime back in. That was last week. He says he's not hurt. He says he's hurt, not bitter. He's hurt, not bitter. He said he was different. Talking about Craig Counsell, and then I guess he. Hey, money talks, baby.
Listen, why do y'all believe these people? Right? Everybody got their price. Listen, I don't want to have to give this lesson here, but everybody in this world has their price. Don't let these people fool you. Now, here's the last thing I want to close with. Right? I'm not trying to close with a hammer here, but I do want to ask this question, right? Because I saw the comment from Bucks and Six, right? When Bucks and Six said Brooks' future with the team, deuces. Okay, so through 6 games, I'm going to give you a list of names, and I want you to tell me who's with the team at the end of the year and who is not.
Okay.
The first one, Brook Lopez.
Yes.
Pat Connaughton.
No.
Robin Lopez.
Yeah, Brooks here. Robin's got to be here by default.
You think it's a family business?
I think it's family business, yes. Because if that's the case, I throw the Nasses in there too. But yeah, I think he's here.
Bobby Portis.
Yes, unless whatever that thing is that they get for Pat Connaughton is so big that you gotta add. Yeah, yes, I believe. I would say yes, I believe so. But I'm not sticking to that. I reserve my right to change my answer on Bobby Portis.
So you're gonna reclaim your time?
I'm gonna reclaim my time.
All right, man.
That's
all I got for you.
All right. I thought you asked about Malik Beasley.
No, I wasn't. No, because y'all know how I feel about Malik, man. I'm the only one still riding for Malik, but I do gotta acknowledge that Jay Crowder's output is a little bit more impressive.
It was a good few games. It was a good few games for Malik, but that time might be. He still has firepower. He's a microwave. There are going to be games, I think, where Malik comes in and lights it up. So I think he's going to be useful down the stretch. I really do.
And I think he if he does have to come off the bench, right? I like him in that sharpshooter role over Pat 100%.
Okay. I'll ask you one last question.
Right,
does Malik Beasley, when does he lose his job? Because again, right now, if you're starting and you only get 14 minutes and guys come on the bench playing 30, that should tell you something. So I mean, when do you think he loses the job entirely at some point? What do you think?
I think by December you're going to see some tinkering with the lineup. I definitely would say by December. Right now in my mind, I'm thinking, man, this might happen next week, but I'm going to say by December because I'm going to hope that Malik's got a 6 for 10 from 3 in him. Right? He's got a 4 for 7 from 3 in him quickly. Hopefully on Wednesday. But no, I think by December, I can't imagine you not having Jay Crowder in that lineup, unless of course Jay, doesn't really want to be in that start and just feels like, no, I'm comfortable in this role. I want to stay in this. Then it's like, all right, cool. Like you got to listen to your players. But yeah, somebody's got to be having that conversation, and I think that conversation is already being had with Jay Crowder playing 30 minutes compared to Malik Beasley's 16. What I will say though is, I do wonder if you're having that same conversation about Pat and you're going to start giving Marjan some of those minutes.
Right. Yeah. I think lineup tinkering is going to happen. And again, I think some of that is Adrian Griffin getting used to this team, seeing how they play in real game scenarios and down the wire scenarios and what it looks like. And yeah, I 100% think there's going to be some. You should at some point. That's one of the reasons why I haven't been so critical of the lineups and what he's done, because again, Adrian Griffin's got to see how this thing works. It's all a work in progress. Let's at least wait till 20, 25 games before we start saying, okay, let's get the lineups together and figure out exactly how we want to do things. A 129-125 victory. The Milwaukee Bucks defeat the Brooklyn Nets. You've been listening to Cream City Crossovers, a Cream City Media Group production.
Yes, sir.
JT, any final words?
Hey, man, you know what? Ugly wins, just as good as pretty wins. I'm gonna stack this one up there with the rest. Bucks fans, sleep well tonight. Got a W against the Nets. Saw saw some adjustments there. Saw the team show up late. And on to Wednesday. Who we play Wednesday?
Detroit Pistons.
Oh yeah, okay. So yeah, no, the sky's falling if we look like crap against the Pistons, but we're gonna be all right.
Yeah, I hope so. Okay, Pistons on Wednesday night. We back. Don't take no Wood Nichols in.